This is a Bill Anderson travelogue, and it's about my taking a bus from Christchurch, New Zealand, to a little town called Akaroa in a volcano, sort of a harbor hidden away in the midst of hills and valleys from the open sea. The Pacific Ocean, of course, where the the musics from Walla Walla were stationed waiting my arrival. So I loaded, with the help of the Bauer family, into a bus to go from sea level in Christchurch to sea level in Akaroa. And meanwhile, I was driving like mad, or being driven like mad, by a bus driver who was announcing to us the sights that we had to not miss, while I was careening back and forth in the seat, and at one point he even drove off the road. But suddenly we perched down and looked, and there was Akaroa, the bay where the musics were. So we descended into the valley and down into what was at last a peaceful moment. A peaceful moment. This is what I've been yearning for. And very quickly, my taxi driver arrived in an inflatable outboard motor, and I thought, oh my gosh. And suddenly I was back inside the comfort and the security of water music, and looking out and feeling the gentle rocking water. A good homecoming. I was on board a year ago with Becky and the boys, Joey and Raymond and Melody, all of whom we, just as soon as I got there, went for a walk. And just because you have to go for a walk to get out of the boat, and saw a beautiful artichoke flower. And we went for a walk into the hills to a olive farm and met some people. And the adventure began for me, but for the musics it was an ongoing adventure. The adventure of light on water, the adventure of sailing and rigging, the adventure of unknown ports and unknown moments, and all those wonderful things that happen when you are circumventing the world.
Will you pull on the jib furler? Sit down and pull that line.
I was feeling rather safe because Captain Music and Sailor and his co-captain, Becky, also schoolmarm, were very much in charge of every movement we made. So I was able to sit and take pictures. And on we went. Actually, on this first day out of Akaroa, we went to where the dolphins were and went into the water and swimming around with the dolphins. But not me, I just took pictures.
You check that starboard jib sheet. Something's not right.
The first day we pulled into a harbor and saw a corral of sheep in a barn and just decided to go see what was up. And lo and behold, we ran into a sheep shearing operation with 2 guys cutting and 4 or 5 guys and a woman picking up and sorting out and working really hard. And you could just imagine the scene.
Yeah, it might come in suddenly tonight, so you might swing around a bit on it, but it's still the best place. If you go down here and come off there and go forward, at least you'll have you'll be bow on, it won't be swinging too much. You think you're under sheltered under the hills there and there's something coming over. And it's just like what the years go around. Yeah. And it's not that clever holding out there either. Good for you.
Yeah, it was nice.
So this barely pays this.
It costs $3 to take it off. That's $3 a kilogram. They're probably at 2.5 kilograms, so you work it out.
Coming out of all that activity, we found the harbor was gentle and calm, the boat out there, and we started to look for signs of the penguin hatchings. And as we walked up the shore, lo and behold, there were sheep that were not going to be sheared. How lucky for them. We had learned that there were penguins on the outer harbor, so we sent the boys up to take a look and see if they could find them in their kayaks, and they probably, without any difficulty, spotted them, but they were hard to photograph. And well, we came anyways. We got the motorboat. Melody drove us.
Rocky sugar where I found the power shop. Huh? Still can't hear you. Oh. Alright, start heading this way, Melanie.
Happy Valentine's Day!
Well, we hadn't been able to get a good photograph of the penguin. The next morning I was sitting on the bridge with a cup of coffee and looked up, and there was a blue penguin floating by, checking us out with his little fin wing paddling beneath him. I grabbed my camera and tried to find him in the finder, but I was all over the place and missed his little calls. He bobbed around and checked us out and checked out the other boat, and pretty soon he just paddled away. That was the most beautiful moment. He came to check us out. As we returned from looking for the penguins, we drove by the boat and headed into the beach. And I thought to myself, it's really amazing to look at your home bobbing in the water and knowing that it was where you're going to be tonight and where the musics have been for the past more than a year. Home.
Becky, do we have bell peppers?
Dad just asked you if you had bell pepper, Dad.
Bell pepper? No, we have some more banana peppers. The last of them.
I know, he knows about it. No, Dad, we don't have bell pepper.
Good.
It's a good Ivan.
Been looking for them and couldn't find them.
We managed to enjoy the little sheltered harbor we were in, where we saw the sheep being sheared and the penguins and lots of other events. You'd be surprised how many things happen when you're nowhere, but it seems like everything happened to us. And then we decided to pull up anchor and head back up the coast some more to another harbor. And so this was kind of a last look at this harbor, so beautiful and incredibly remote, somewhere between Akaroa and Littleton Harbor, where we were headed up the coast after the weather cleared. Okay, say happy Valentine's Day for me.
Happy Valentine's Day.
That's what you can do? Oh, that's pretty good. Try it again. Thumbs up, we're heading back to sea.
All right, Mom? Yep. Little walk. Oh, I see it.
What?
I asked for a little water.
Yeesh. I wonder, I was just thinking,
What?
down below go, man. It hooks, Joe. You have to do the hook.
Yeah, listen up down there.
You know, for some reason, Mel's door was unhooked.
Yeah.
Mom, my windbreaker. My wind, see, this is my windbreaker.
Oh. It meant like you wanted your...
Disgruntled, the landlubber doesn't know what to do when you're swinging back and forth like a pendulum. It's crazy and wonderful, all the same.
How I really look. It's hard to stay around 20.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Well, what started out to be a really difficult passage gradually became easier and easier, but gradually is one of those phrases that it takes a long time for gradually to take place, but sooner or later we were back in smooth waters, and Ray was taking over at the helm, and we were just breathing easily and heading into Pigeon Cove.
What direction is that?
Sail down. You're gonna need to bring in the main sheet. Remember?
Okay.
Watch your head, Billy. That boom's coming. You can go back behind.
Yeah, I'll go down. I don't want to. Jeez. We arrived after a good hearty sail at a very quiet harbor and chose an anchorage and got ready for the next night sleeping.
Happy Valentine's Day.
The next day we fished and shelled and did various things and got ready to go up to Littleton Harbor, which was a couple of harbors up, and that was going to be where we would launch out into Christchurch and Sumner and reunite with the Bowers. All in all, a very relaxing and enjoyable trip in some very beautiful, beautiful scenery somewhere in South Island, New Zealand. When I got aboard, Melody was making valentines, and yes, Valentine's Day was coming. And when it came, out came a whole bunch of cards for everybody in the family by everybody in the family. It was quite astonishing to me. And they were hung up, and in the room where we dined, wonderful lunches, breakfasts, dinners, and just played cards every night after dinner. The whole family, we played cards, and I never won, but I loved playing and laughing and talking with the musics. This was all about sailing with the musics.
Happy Valentine's Day.